It was February 13th, and the small town of Crimson Hollow was buzzing with excitement. Valentine's Day was just around the corner, and the streets were adorned with red and pink decorations. Heart-shaped balloons floated in the air, and the scent of fresh roses wafted through the chilly breeze. But beneath the surface of this picturesque town, something sinister was stirring. Emily Carter, a 28-year-old freelance writer, had recently moved to Crimson Hollow to escape the chaos of city life. She had rented a quaint little house on the outskirts of town, hoping to find inspiration for her next novel. Emily was single, and while her friends back in the city were busy planning romantic dinners and exchanging gifts, she was content with her solitude, or so she thought. As the sun set on the eve of Valentine's Day, Emily decided to take a walk through the town square. The streets were eerily quiet, and the only sound was the crunch of snow beneath her boots. She noticed that the decorations, which had seemed so cheerful during the day, now cast long, ominous shadows in the moonlight. The heart-shaped balloons swayed gently in the wind, their reflections dancing in the windows of the closed shops. Emily's breath formed little clouds in the cold air as she walked, her mind wandering to the stories she had heard about the town's history. Crimson Hollow was named after the mysterious red flowers that bloomed only once a year, on Valentine's Day. Legend had it that the flowers were cursed, and anyone who picked them would suffer a terrible fate. Emily had dismissed the stories as mere folklore, but now in the stillness of the night, she couldn't help but feel a shiver run down her spine. As she turned a corner, Emily noticed a small, dimly lit shop that she had never seen before. The sign above the door read, "Valentine's Curiosities." Intrigued, she pushed the door open and stepped inside. The shop was filled with an assortment of oddities, antique jewelry, old books, and strange trinkets. The air was thick with the scent of incense, and the walls were lined with shelves that seemed to stretch endlessly into the shadows. Behind the counter stood an elderly woman with piercing blue eyes and a knowing smile. "Welcome, dear," she said in a voice that was both soothing and unsettling. "I've been expecting you." Emily frowned. "Expecting me? How could you have been expecting me? I've never been here before." The woman chuckled softly. "Oh, my dear, there are many things you don't yet understand, but you will in time. For now, why don't you take a look around? Perhaps you'll find something that speaks to you." Emily wandered through the shop, her fingers brushing against the various items on display. She felt drawn to a small, ornate box tucked away in a corner. The box was made of dark wood, with intricate carvings of roses and thorns. As she picked it up, she felt a strange warmth emanating from within. "What's this?" she asked, holding the box up for the woman to see. The woman's smile widened. "Ah, you found the Valentine's box. It's a very special item indeed. Legend has it that the box contains a gift from the heart, a gift that will bring you the love you desire. But beware, my dear, for every gift comes with a price." Emily hesitated, but curiosity got the better of her. "How much is it?" The woman waved her hand dismissively. "For you, my dear, it's free. Consider it a Valentine's Day gift. But remember, once you open the box, there's no turning back." Emily thanked the woman and left the shop, the box clutched tightly in her hands. As she walked home, she couldn't shake the feeling that she was being watched. She glanced over her shoulder several times, but the streets were empty. When she finally reached her house, Emily placed the box on the kitchen table and stared at it for a long time. The carvings seemed to come alive in the flickering light of the candles she had lit, the roses blooming and the thorns twisting. She took a deep breath and opened the box. Inside was a single red rose. It was the most beautiful rose she had ever seen, its petals a deep, velvety crimson. But as she reached out to touch it, she felt a sharp pain in her finger. A thorn had pricked her, and a drop of blood fell onto the rose. Suddenly, the room grew cold, and the candles flickered wildly. Emily felt a presence behind her, but when she turned around, there was no one there. She looked back at the box, and to her horror, the rose had begun to wilt. The petals turned black and fell to the table, leaving behind a pile of ash. Emily's heart raced as she realized that something was terribly wrong. She tried to close the box, but it wouldn't budge. The carvings on the box began to glow, and she heard a faint whisper in her ear. "You wanted love, Emily, and now you shall have it." The next morning, the townspeople found Emily's house empty. The Valentine's box was gone, and the only trace of Emily was blackened rose on the kitchen table. No one ever saw her again, but on every Valentine's Day, the red flowers of Crimson Hollow bloomed brighter than ever, their petals stained with a deep crimson hue. And so, the legend of the Valentine's box lived on, a cautionary tale for those who sought love in all the wrong places. But for Emily, it was a reminder that some gifts are better left unopened. Always think twice before accepting gifts from strangers, and never let curiosity lead you down a dangerous path. Stay safe and have a happy Valentine's Day.